Am I the a-hole for supporting my son and wanting to go non-contact with my soon-to-be ex-wife? So this is a pretty simple one, I think. My wife, 39 female, and I, 39 male, are going through an admittedly pretty messy divorce. I thought everything was fine with our relationship until my son, 14 male, told me that he walked in on her cheating on me with our next-door neighbor's son, 20-ish I think, and that it's been going on for a year now. Obviously, I do the expected thing and move out and file for divorce, since she'll probably end up with a house. The thing is, my son wanted to come with me. I made him stay with her till I got a place lined up, but ever since he's been living with me and is refusing to spend time with her or even speak with her. The entire time I've been supportive of this. She's come as far as I'm concerned, and I don't see why I should try to convince him otherwise. Custody came up in the divorce. We're both requesting primary, and when it came to asking my son what he wanted, he said that he didn't want anything to do with my wife. Ever since then, my wife has been plastering all over social media that I've been poisoning him against her, which is causing a lot of other family members and others I know to get on my case about it. While I wouldn't say that I've been poisoning him, I haven't exactly been trying to get him to think better of her, which is what some of my family members and friends are angry at me for doing. My sister especially has been on my case about it. She tells me that I should be telling my son off whenever he expresses how he feels about his mother and that I should be encouraging him to sort things out with her and to see things from her perspective. While I understand that this is something that would help him get some form of a relationship back with her, I honestly don't see how it's my place to do that. My wife cheated on me for a college kid and threw me and our son away for it. I don't get why I should be helping her to get away with this regarding our son and his feelings about the situation. My sister and everyone else I've shared my thoughts with are calling me a major a-hole for it. So I'd like to see if others who don't know either of us agree with them or whether or not it's just a microcosm of our social group and family. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. He's old enough to make that decision for himself. You're just supporting and enabling him to make that decision. Just be aware of the influence you have when you talk about her with him. Not the a-hole. OP, what your wife did was hideous and your son witnessed it himself. So you were not poisoning his mind. His mom did that all by herself. But your child definitely needs therapy, and I think it would help you too to get into therapy yourself. As for the family members who are blaming you, tell them to mind their business or you will cut contact with them too. I personally am not in favor of social media's smear campaigns as it does more harm than good and can easily get out of hand. So block and ignore your ex. Other than that, try your best to get full custody of your son and don't pressure your son to start having a relationship with his mom again. He can do that if he wants to down the road. I will say this though, before the exodus, I definitely hit one of her posts up complaining about OP poisoning her son against her with a... Well, actually, OP's wife was caught by son smashing 20-year-old neighbor and then came to his own conclusion about the value of his mother and then screenshot. Post to Reddit for karma and wait for her to block you while having the solace that 50% of the people that interacted with that post now knows the facts. Oh, and not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. I'm sorry your wife did that to you. But I'm 100 in supporting of kids deciding whether they want to put themselves in that situation. So long as you make sure your son knows you would facilitate any contact he wants with the ex-wife in the future, you're doing the best for him. Obviously, don't talk bad about her to him, etc. But he's old enough now to make decisions, and if he doesn't want contact, I think it's fair to respect that. For context, my 14-year-old just moved back to me after 5 years with her dad. At that time, she was mistreated, gaslighted, poisoned against me, and I had no contact with her. Eventually, she came to see me and saw how much she'd lied to her and how bad things were there. She's now with me and under police advisory to not talk to him or have anything to do with her dad. And I've been advised from professionals that you shouldn't and can't really ever force a child to have contact with a parent or to not contact them. It only serves to damage them emotionally in the long run. Trust your son. He needs to heal from this too. Continue to be supportive to him at any future relationship with his mom and you'll be okay. I felt like I was reading a post made by my family member because I'm experiencing the exact same situation from your son's point of view. Not stay home. He's old enough to form his own opinions and make up his mind. My advice would be to not discuss it unless he wants to talk about the situation, because if you continuously bring it up, your family members and ex-wife will claim to be justified in you poisoning him. Similar with me, though I discovered my dad was cheating when I was 21, so I was in college and not living at home full-time, and got married less than a year later and moved out permanently. My mom constantly, even 4 years later after their divorce has been finalized, complains about my dad to me, and it's very hard to deal with. And every time I tell her I don't want to talk about it, she gets upset with me. I still love my dad as my dad, so it's hard to hear her complaints. I think it's important for the dad in this situation to do his best not to poison his son's opinion of his mom because while she was awful and cheating and OP, she is still his son's mom. A person can be an awful partner and still a good parent, and therapy should definitely be required. But in the end, it's still the son's decision, and I don't blame him for being betrayed by his mother and not wanting to see her. Not stay home. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to see my dad because of my stepmother's racist comments? I'm 16 female and half white, half Chinese. My parents have been split up for a while, so I'm mostly over it. They're a lot happier without each other, so while it sucked, it's fine. It's weird sometimes when I'm with my dad, people assume I'm adopted, but usually he's good at correcting people, except for my stepmom. I really did try to like her in the beginning, but she's kind of racist. The first time I met her, she wouldn't stop touching and commenting on my hair and how I looked like a K-pop star. It just got worse the longer they were together. She would do things like tell people she was my tiger mom, and make comments about my body type and plastic surgery. And when she moved in, she had my dad ask me to only speak English in the house and watch English shows because it made her uncomfortable if she couldn't understand what was being said. When they got married, she kinda sneakily left me out of the wedding photos. And when I asked why, she said she wanted a certain aesthetic, which I guess is a nice way of saying white. I've talked to my dad about it a lot and he says he'll talk to her, but he never does. And also that she just doesn't have a lot of familiarity with Asian people. So I have to be patient with her because she's learning. My mom and stepdad were really angry about how she treats me, but they can't exactly do anything about my stepmom. So they just said that if I ever feel like I need to leave, I can call either of them at any time and they'll come get me. It really hit the fan a couple of weeks ago. My stepmom is pregnant and had her baby shower, and I heard her make a comment about how I don't look very much like my dad. So now he'll also have a kid that resembles him, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I called my mom to come pick me up and left. My dad called me a few hours later and I told him what his wife said, and he said he would talk to her, but I told him he always says that and nothing changes. So I'm not coming over to his house anymore, and maybe he should stick with his white family. Stepmother texted me to apologize, but I told her it wasn't accepted and I don't want to talk to her anymore. My mom and stepdad and my grandparents on the side support me, but my dad is really upset, and my grandparents on my dad's side are really mad at me, and people have been telling me that even if my stepmom is being a pill, I shouldn't write off my dad because he's not the one doing it. I love my dad, but I just don't want to see his wife again. And if that means I don't see my dad too because he won't stand up to her, maybe that's how it needs to be. Not stay home. Your racist stepmom is, and so is your racist dad. Your dad supporting her beliefs make him racist too? You don't deserve to be treated like that just because you don't meet their aesthetic. I know, right? That's messed up. Opie's future sibling will probably ask in the future, why is Opie not in the wedding pictures? Opie's stepmom be like, because she's not part of the aesthetics. WTF? You mean because she's not white, really? That's what it is. Not stay home. Cut these people from your life completely. If your father does nothing to stop the stepmother, he condones it. He married her knowing her views, which makes him racist. He married her knowing she was awful to his daughter, which makes him a failure as a father. Opie needs to keep herself emotionally safe from her loser bigot dad. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my significant other that his daughter cannot come over to our new house until we meet up again? Me, 26 female, and my significant other, 32 male, have been together for 5 years. And he has 2 children with his ex, Anna, 31 female. They have Leo, 8 male, and Leia, 14 female together. Me and my significant other decided to wait until we were dating for 1 year for me to meet his children. We met up for lunch at a local restaurant, and while Leo liked me, Leia didn't speak a word. I assumed she was not ready to warm up to me just yet. After that, we scaled back to brief video calls where she wouldn't say anything. This went on for another 6 months, and then me and my significant other moved in together. Leo came every other week for visits for the first month, and Leia never came. She told significant other she didn't want to be around me, so she wasn't going to come for visitation. So my significant other did visitation at his sister's house. This worked out okay. It was just awkward because his sister lives 5 minutes away from our old apartment, and the kids lived 20 minutes away from us. So it was a lot of driving back and forth. This has been the arrangement for years. The entire time, I've been inviting Leia out through my significant other with us to get to know her better. We go out at least 4 to 5 times per month and do various activities. Parks, museums, zoo, malls, go-karts, restaurants, everything. Leo tags along sometimes, but Leia's never come. March 1st, I closed on my dream apartment. 3 beds, 2.5 baths, study, huge balcony. It's gorgeous. We've moved in and I'm so excited to start making our home here. I posted a video on social media and Anna's seen it and showed Leia. Anna blew up my significant other's phone asking him when he was going to tell Leia that he moved. He did tell Leia, and she said, "Oh, okay." After Leia seen our new home, she asked significant other when she would be able to come over and decorate her new room. I told him under no circumstances will Leia be allowed into her new room until she agrees to meet us outside for an outing. I love her because she's my partner's daughter, but I don't know her. I've only ever heard her voice in videos she posts to social media. She has never spoken a word to me. My significant other is incredibly sad because he just wants his daughter to visit him again, but he agrees with me. Anna and Leia obviously disagree, and so does my in-laws. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Everyone sucks here. For the past 5 years, everybody has agreed to let a child, she was 9 at the beginning, decide if/when/where she wanted to see her father. Also, if you bought that apartment with your significant other, his daughter has every right to come whenever she wants, as it is also her home. The adults need to do better by that child. I actually agree with this. My significant other has allowed the situation to drag out for 4 years, and it's unfair to all of us. He allowed a child to dictate the terms of their relationship. 4 years of family events where he had to exclude me because she wouldn't come if I was there. 4 years of living a double life to keep us separated. I purchased that apartment with my own money. I made sure to include a private bedroom for her when she was ready to come around. I'm assuming she's ready now, but she is saying she absolutely does not want to go out for dinner or an activity. She just wants to decorate and start coming over. She wants a relationship with her father, not with you. That's her right. The more you're going to push, the more she's going to run. Is it going to suck for you? Yes, but you made a choice to move in with him knowing he had a daughter who wanted nothing to do with you. You either accept that or tell your significant other to find another place to live. Cool, that's her right. She can have that relationship at his sister's then because her apartment isn't his apartment. It has got no right to demand a room for the kid. Yep, the bio parents have had 5 years to establish a relationship and set boundaries that would let Opie get to know the 14-year-old at least enough that the 14-year-old would already have their space in the apartment. The 14-year-old made her choice, and now she's learning that what she does or doesn't do may have unforeseen consequences. Opie has every right not to have a stranger in her home. All she's asking for is an outing to get to know the girl. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for how I'm treating my daughter? My daughter, 32 female, and I, 69 female, are very close. We used to live in the southern part of the US. I divorced her father when she was 13, and then she made a decision to cut him out of her life. So it's pretty much been just the 2 of us ever since. About 9 years ago, she chose to move up to the East Coast to look for work after her college graduation. I was supportive and happy when she found something. About 5 years ago, my mom died, so I had no family left in the South. I I wanted to move, and it was either move to the East Coast to be near my daughter or move out west to be near my brother and his partner. My daughter said, "If you want to move up here, I'm fine with it. But don't do it just for me, because I'm not attached to this area, so who knows if I'll stay." I said I understood, but decided to move there anyway. I purchased a condo in the same town and have lived here ever since. About 2 years ago, my daughter needed to move out of her apartment because of some issues with her neighbors, and it just so happened that the condo next door to mine became available to rent. The rent was too good for her to pass up, so she moved in. I love that we live so close. Anyway, about 8 months ago, she started dating a man from a town about an hour away. They are planning on her moving in with him, since he owns his house, which means she will be about an hour away from me. I'm happy for her, and I like her boyfriend, but I'm not going to lie that I'm a little sad about her moving. Anyway, for the last few months, she has become very short with me on a lot of topics. Like, I ask her if her boyfriend is okay with the state of cleanliness that her condo is. I don't think she cleans it well enough. It will be fine with his home being like that. She just blankly stares at me and bluntly says, "Yes, he's been to my place and knows what it looks like." Or when I ask if she was going to start making herself look pretty for the day once she has him around all the time. She works from home and he does for part of the week too. She, again, just stared at me and bluntly said, "He knows what I look like, so I'm fine." The other issue is that his parents live in the same town as him and the two of them see them all of the time for dinners and such, a lot more than they see me. I guess some of my jealousy shows in my face, because she has commented on it several times, but I just act like everything is fine. All in all, she's making me feel like I'm treating her badly recently, but being so short with me, and I'm afraid that I'm not ever going to see her after she moves. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. I don't know if this is specifically a southern thing or if it extends to more cultures, but comments like you're making to your daughter made me incredibly insecure. If I didn't clean enough, I wasn't lovable. If I didn't do my makeup, I wasn't pretty. So my natural face wasn't pretty. You're making these comments to make her feel less secure in her relationship. Whether you're doing it consciously or not, the result is the same. You are undermining her self-confidence. And yes, you're probably going to lose your close bond. No one wants to be around someone who makes them feel self-conscious. No one wants to be around someone who makes them feel unlovable. Texan here. When I was in college, my boyfriend and I evacuated to my grandparents' ranch following a hurricane. I was an evacuee. I was on a ranch. I wasn't wearing makeup or dressing up, but that's not any different from any other time on the ranch. My granny told me I had let myself go, presumably because the boyfriend would see me at my worst since it was never a problem prior. Ranch kid here. Well, it's a good thing she can cook, said at the end of a muddy, bloody day of me working kettle. Thanks, Pops. You just undermined pretty much all of the fears and dependence you instilled in me. All for a laugh from the menfolk.
Am I the a-hole for giving my daughter a breakdown of what it cost to raise her when she asked me for her university funds? Original post. My daughter Ava was a handful growing up. Her dad passed away when she was 5, and even with therapy, she was a very angry child. I still love her very much. She's my daughter, and I would do anything for her that I can. Her dad didn't have a lot of insurance, but enough to pay off a small house and set aside an emergency fund and top up my daughter's 529 education fund. I kept adding to it over the years. Not much, but as I could. When she was 11, I met and married my ex-husband. I thought Ava was okay with it. She never brought up any problems to me or in our therapy sessions. She was not. When she was 13, she accused him of something inappropriate. I called the cops immediately. He was arrested and he lost his job. He was innocent. She did it to get rid of him. We divorced. I was obviously heartbroken. I did my best to not take it out on her. I did punish her. She started acting out. She got expelled from school, then another. I ended up having to send her to a private school, but even with a voucher, it was expensive. It worked though. She's graduating this year with honors and a scholarship. She asked me about the money in her account. I said it was all gone. She got very upset because her scholarship won't cover all costs. Even with financial aid, she will still be paying a fair amount. I said I would co-sign a student loan for what she needs. She said that she wanted to know where the money went that I wasted. So I got out a pen and paper and wrote it all down. The cost of my divorce, the rising cost of living that I paid for by myself since I didn't have a partner, her tuition and fees for private school. By the end, she was crying and saying that I was blaming her for everything. I never have. I did punish her for the trouble she caused with my ex, but I think that was reasonable. She's upset that she will have to take out a loan, which I also made very clear that I would not be responsible for paying it back. She thinks I'm being cruel by saying that she's responsible for stupid things she did as a child. I'm not, but I cannot pull the money I had to spend because of her out of my behind. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Info: does she admit the abuse accusation was untrue? Yes. Not a-hole. I'm sorry for your ex. I hope he has recovered from the lie and is doing well. She asked what happened to the money and you showed her. There are consequences and she is now facing them. Unfortunately, no matter what you do, she will find a way to blame you. Try to get her back into counseling if she agrees. Just know you did nothing wrong and take care of yourself as well. My ex is okay. We still talk. He got a new job. He is still angry. He wants nothing to do with her. If you co-sign a loan for her, be prepared for her to not pay it back, and for you, as the co-signer, to have to do it for her. Personally, I let her take out student aid. I hope she understands the horrific nature of her lie, and all the lives she destroyed with that one malicious act. Not a-hole. Edited to add, if your daughter can't get a loan without you, then she should explore her other options. Financial aid offices can lay it out for her. Or she can defer for a year and get a job. Agreed. Don't sign a loan. You already provided her with a college fund to the best of your ability. It's on her now. A lot of things are on her. And frankly, I'm a little disturbed by the seeming lack of remorse on the daughter's part for her horrific actions at 13. If I nearly destroyed an innocent person's life at 13, and I did it intentionally, you better believe I would feel ashamed of myself for the rest of my life. This girl seems to feel no such regret, or even a sense of responsibility. Following up with crying about the consequences her actions caused, there's no remorse and she wants pity. She sounds terrifying. Now for the update. Thank you all for your comments. Even the ones where you called me a raving bee for calling the cops after my daughter's allegations. First, my ex was completely cleared. He was never home at the time she alleged the SA. We have security cameras in my house. There are exactly 0 videos of him entering her room or being inappropriate with her in the common areas. I've already commented on the other evidence that got the charges against my ex dropped. She admitted the truth and said that she was doing it to get him out of our house. He's doing okay now. He has a new job and he and I still talk. Her excuses was that she didn't think I would immediately call the cops. She thought I would just kick him out since it is my house. She felt trapped and like she couldn't back down. She has never apologized to him. She has been in therapy since she was 5, both on her own and with me. To my knowledge, she never mentioned anything about SA to her therapist, and they are mandatory reporters. Second, I told her that I will not be co-signing her loans. I told her that I will be backing her up and doing my best to make sure that she does not default, but I'm not risking my home or my future for her. She fully understands now where her savings went. She's upset with herself mostly now. She realizes that the private school was my last choice, and only necessary because of choices she made. Thank you all for your help. My ex was completely cleared, but the shame never goes away. Yeah, there's a whole former workplace of people who think he's a pedo. That's legitimately traumatic. Yep, ex could sue OP over it. If she called the cops before doing any checks whatsoever on the cameras, it wouldn't be that hard of a case, and OP would be wise to settle. Even on the surface, it looks bad. Yeah, he was found not guilty, but there's always to be the no smoke without fire idiots, and who can't understand how vengeful some children can be. Glad you didn't sign a loan. I do not think that the case ever went to court. OP says the cops investigated and dropped the charges. It went far enough that word got out and he lost his job. You can tell people the charges got dropped, but that doesn't always mean the person was innocent. The daughter has some deep psychological issues that need to be addressed immediately if it's not already too late. Currently have 2 daughters. The oldest, middle school, has always been off. She's been in and out of therapy, different schools, extreme violent outbursts and defiance, etc. A few months back, she apparently told someone at her school that my fiancé beat her on the way to school because she refused to hand over her phone before going to school. They reported it to CPS. I was at work at the time and actually had no idea it even happened until CPS contacted my cell phone and asked if I was aware of the incident. Of course, I was caught off guard to say the least. Needless to say, we both got the evil eye anytime we dropped her off or picked her up from school for the next few days. They even went to my youngest's daycare to speak with her teachers as well to see if there were any signs of abuse or anything at home. Obviously, when that happened, they looked at us funny there as well. When CPS pressed further, my oldest eventually admitted that she had made the story up because she's mad. They had argued, but that was as far as it went. CPS dropped the investigation, of course, but you can't ever really fully recover something like that. She's had various issues with extreme lies over the years. When she was younger and in a different school, she told a teacher that a student had called her some extreme names and punched her, and she punched her back. The principal said they were going to pull the security cam footage to confirm her story. She caved and confessed that it didn't happen and that she instigated the whole thing. The principal was bluffing. There was no security footage. Anyways, I really feel for the guy. Guess I'm just ranting at this point. Really sucks when you have a child who is also a pathological liar. So hard to figure out what to do, especially in their younger years when you can catch it early but they don't seem to respond to any form of therapy or counseling. If I was your fiancé, I'd be running far away. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepmom to pay for the damage her daughter caused, or I'm going to file a police report? My 16 female stepmom, 34, does not discipline her kids or give them consequences. She lets them have free range. I was over at my dad's house. My grandma was over there and I wanted to see her because I hadn't seen her in a while and because she brought me treats. I don't talk to my dad nor my stepmom that much, only my grandmother because she's the only person I like at that house. I have a Canon EOS R5 camera my stepdad gave me for my birthday. He told me to take good care of it because it was like $6,399. I took my camera over to my dad's house to show my grandma the pictures I took because she's into photography too. All was going well until my stepmom's kids came home from school. Her 7-year-old was making so much noise that she brought all her toys into the living room, not even respecting other space. My stepmom was in the kitchen cooking. I had ordered food because I don't like her cooking and she doesn't make me food anyway. When the food came, I took it from the drive. Mind you, my camera is still on the couch. That's how my camera broke. Some might say I overreacted, but I don't think I did. I literally had a meltdown, and I yelled at my stepsister for what she did. I already knew my stepmom wouldn't care because her daughter broke many of my things in the past but never replaced it. She doesn't like me, or like me there, so she probably was happy that my camera broke. I showed her the damage and she said I better buy back one. But that wasn't enough. I told her if she didn't pay, I will file a police report. But she said they're not in a good financial situation right now. But I was too angry to care. My stepsister broke it pretty badly. My lens were broken onto pieces and it came off. I told my dad if they could just pay back for the damage, but they said no because it's not that serious, so I should stop acting like a baby over a camera. I guess I was overreacting. My stepsister was laughing and my stepmom had a smirk on her face when my dad said they wouldn't be paying for anything, to say I was the first child and get treated like a stranger. That's the last time I will go back over there. I told my mom and she said she will have to pay for the damage to replace it. Now for the top comments. Not a-hole. Your stepsister is 7. She isn't a baby. Personally, if the item broken wasn't expensive, I would try to resolve it with your stepmom and dad. However, the fact the camera costs so much changes the situation. Your stepmom should be offering to pay and apologizing. It's not your fault they aren't in a good financial position. Why should you have to pay for the repair? If they don't come forward with a solution, then going to the police may be the only way to get the money back or a camera replaced. Thank you, and just know that my stepmom was lying about the financial problems. She said this before because she said she doesn't want my dad's money to be wasted on me. They spend money a lot.
My stepmom has a whole closet full of designer clothes and bags. But when it comes to me, they act like they have nothing. That's why I don't ask my dad for much. You can go and file a police report for the damage. Take a copy. And probably because you are a minor, your mom has to do it. You can also check with your area. You usually have 3 years to file, so you can wait until you are 18 years old. You can file in small claims courts in your area against your stepmom and dad. Take date-stamped photos of your camera. Also, send a text message, separately, to your stepmom and dad, hoping that either one will answer back and admit that your stepsister broke the camera and use the reply as admission of guilt evidence. Print any current, as of today, advertisement about the cost to purchase a new camera of that or a similar model. Not the a-hole. File the police report. And maybe your stepdad can help you, seeing as it's basically his money, and you don't need any approval from these losers. Just never go visit them. If you have the repaid receipt, just send a picture to them every time they contact you. Thank you. My stepdad can pay for it, but I feel like if you break someone's stuff, you should repair it. I feel bad because he bought it for me and now it's broken. He does so much for me and I try not to ask for much. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to be my sister's babysitter and putting her job at risk after she called me a deadbeat mom? I feel very stuck on what to do or if I overreacted. I, 24 female, have an older sister, 33 female. I had my sons really young at 15 and 18 with my ex-boyfriend. My sister was already out of the house when I had my youngest, so she didn't do any childcare. Not that I expected her to, just important for context. I'm really lucky to say that my ex is a very involved father, and we have an equal co-parenting schedule we decided out of court for years. We do 1 month on, 1 month off. We live in the same city, so this doesn't affect their schooling, and we've been doing it since we broke up at 18. I understand a month is a long time, but during the time they're away, I still see them by taking them to the park, doing drop-offs, movies/dinner night, even sleepovers, where they'll stay the nights and their dad does the same. So it's not like during that month we're no contact. We also do nightly FaceTimes. I do love that it gives me time to relax and be child-free, hang out with my boyfriend/friend spontaneously, even get to go out of town if I want. I still get to live as a young adult, and so does my ex, which is why we agreed to the schedule at all. It has raised controversy if I mention it to other moms, because they always say they can never go away from their children for so long. It makes me feel like an awful mom because I have fun during my month off. It's why I don't really mention it often to other moms. Anyways, my older sister just welcomed her first baby last year and it was amazing. We aren't the closest because of our age gap, but it did bring us closer. Her husband and her separated a few months after his birth, and she's been doing it all alone ever since. With the job market how it is, it took her months to even land an interview, but she got the job. Sadly, childcare in our area is $2,000 a month and she can't afford it. So either the paternal grandmother or I watch him during the week. Our mom would do it, but she had to return to work last year to pay the bills she can't. Luckily for me, I had my mom to watch the boys when I was underage and when I moved out. But I don't have to worry about childcare since I work from home and my boys are in school now. I don't mind watching my nephew. My sister goes in at 6 and gets off at 2, so it doesn't take up much of my day. And I usually do it 2 or 3 times a week, so it's not too constant. On Thursday, when my sister dropped my nephew off, she had to go downstairs because she forgot his diaper bag and left her purse and phone behind. I live in the 8th floor, so she was gone for around 5 minutes. When she left, her phone rang, and since it was our mom, I answered it to say hello. During the call, I see a notification pop up of someone liking a message my sister sent that said, "It's crazy how she can watch my son for me, but when it comes to hers, she doesn't care. I could never go to Jamaica to celebrate a man's birthday when I could be with my kids instead. Deadbeat moms are worse than dads." It shocked me so much I screenshotted it. My boyfriend's birthday is next weekend, and we're going to Jamaica for a week. It's my son's time with her dad. When my sister came back upstairs, I acted normal. She said bye and left. I thought about it a lot, and I got more ticked off. Why should I be ashamed because I don't have to do it alone? How am I comparable to a deadbeat dad like her husband who hasn't seen their son in months with no contact? Here I am doing her a favor, saving her $2,000 a month she doesn't have, all to be insulted in a group chat with people I don't know? When she came to get my nephew, I confronted her. At first, she denied it, until I showed her the screenshot. Then she said it's out of context, so I said to show me the full convo, then she refused. She said sorry but didn't seem sorry at all. She just wanted to leave. I asked her to explain how I'm a deadbeat, then she broke down in tears saying that she is a single mom since she receives no help, and I'm barely a mom, so I don't understand how she feels. I told her to leave, and she did. Once she left, I called her and told her I wasn't going to be watching my nephew anymore. I didn't want to tell her in person because I know she'd try to guilt trip me with even more tears. She sent me over 50 texts when I wouldn't answer her calls, begging me to answer, and that she's so sorry, and this wasn't supposed to happen and she regrets it. She said she needs me to watch him since his other grandma can't every day, and that if she gets fired, she'll be out of a job again for months and won't be able to afford her bills. I didn't reply. Now my mom and cousins are all blowing up my phone, telling me I'm a huge a-hole and to change my mind and accept her apology. I feel used and disrespected, but also do feel a bit bad since she does need a childcare. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She is sorry she got caught, not sorry for what she said about you. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Not the a-hole. Your sister should know better than to crap talk the person offering her free childcare. Not to mention her criticisms of you are obviously a complete and total lie. How sad that your sister thinks so poorly of you. She absolutely is not entitled to your free labor. You did well by drawing a clear boundary and enforcing it. Actions have consequences, and your sister should have considered the potential consequences of her actions before disrespecting you so callously. It makes me really sad she feels that way about me, but everyone is telling me it's my fault if she gets fired and ends up homeless. I feel so conflicted. It's a lot. Just tell everyone that obviously it's not in a child's best interest to be cared for by a deadbeat, and a child surely deserves better, right?